Where did all the butterflies go? If it feels like you're seeing fewer pollinators this year, it could be that your yard is in a pollinator food desert. So today I'm going to share with you my top 15 favorite plants for attracting butterflies, hummingbirds, and bees to your garden and turning your backyard into a pollinator oasis. Hi, I'm Christina with Forever Food Forest, a channel where I explore ways of growing food without the use of herbicides, pesticides, or commercial fertilizers. And instead, I rely on permaculture, gardening principles, and other natural farming techniques to grow food. There's a hummingbird right over there. He just flew. Did you know that fall is one of the best times to start a garden in Florida? With the oppressive heat behind us and the temperatures dropping up north, your backyard is going to become a pit stop for hungry pollinators migrating down south. But before you start your garden, there is something really important that we need to discuss, and that is the use of pesticides, especially for prevention of pests. You see, pesticides, even organic ones, such as neem oil, create more harm than good because they indiscriminately get rid of insects, even the good ones. So how do you keep aphids and other insects from sucking the life out of your lettuces? Well, there's actually an old farmer's almanac secret, and that is growing borders of pollinator-friendly plants that attract lots of buzzing activity and in turn deter the more nuisance insects such as moths, ants, and aphids. Did you know that ants actually farm aphids the same way humans farm cattle? Fun fact. One of the best plants for attracting hummingbirds, bees, and butterflies to your garden also happens to be super easy to grow, shade tolerant, and a Florida native. And that's this firebush. If you drive around any undisturbed areas, you might see these bright red spikes poking out. And the thing that I love about firebush is it's super easy to propagate. So all you need is a cutting. You don't need to stick it in water and wait for it to root. You literally just stick it in the ground, water it a few times, and in several weeks you're going to have a big, beautiful, it's not gonna be that big, but you're gonna have a start to firebush. Now, the firebush should not be confused with another Florida native, the fire spike. Both are very similar. The one main difference is that the firebush blooms all through the summer and produces dark red berries, and the fire spike blooms from the end of the summer all through the fall. And by planting both of these in your landscape together, you're going to provide a continuous source of nectar to hungry hummingbirds. And because they're so tall, you can also grow a bunch of them in a row to create a natural privacy hedge. This unassuming plant right here is actually a magnet for one of Florida's native butterflies, the zebra longwing. But that's not all. The fragrant blooms also pull their share of hummingbirds. This is chaya. It's heat tolerant, low maintenance, and the leaves are edible. But it's very important that you cook them first. And just like firebush, chaya is super easy to propagate from cutting. And right down here, growing in the same pot as the chaya, I guess you could call it a companion plant, we have another pollinator favorite, spotted bee balm. This is actually a Florida native. This was a volunteer. I guess somewhere along the line a seed got dropped in here, and look at how pretty the flowers are. Definitely a worthwhile specimen to add to your native Florida garden. When creating pollinator-friendly landscapes that are also visually appealing to us humans, you want to include a variety of different colors, heights, and textures. One of my favorite ways to add textures is with goldenrod. And this particular variety of goldenrod is native to us here in Florida. It's seaside goldenrod. This goldenrod can reach up to 6 feet in height and blooms from mid-October all the way through winter, providing an essential food source for bees and migrating butterflies. A pollinator garden would not be complete without milkweed. Milkweed is an essential host plant for the monarch butterfly. Milkweed comes in many different varieties. Some of the ones that are particularly well suited for Florida are swamp milkweed and common milkweed. However, the one that you'll probably find at most stores is tropical milkweed. Now, there is some controversy regarding growing tropical or Mexican milkweed. Mexican milkweed does not die back in the winter, and it prevents the monarch butterfly from migrating down south. And since it does not die back, it also becomes a host for certain types of diseases that are easily transmitted to the monarch butterfly. How do you know if you're growing the bad variety of milkweed? Look at the flowers. If the flowers are orange or bright yellow, more than likely it is tropical or Mexican milkweed. Instead of ripping it out, one of the ways you can help the monarch butterfly is by cutting back the milkweed during the cooler months and letting it come back during spring. If you're starting your pollinator-friendly garden from seed, keep in mind that it might take up to 9 months to get your flowers to bloom. And if you're looking for something to give your yard a little bit of color right away, consider growing zinnias. Zinnias are fast-growing, heat-tolerant, and also super easy to grow. They provide an essential food source to butterflies, bees, and even hummingbirds. Some of my favorite varieties are California Giants, and this year I'm also trying a few new varieties, Zinnia Dwarf and Zinnia Persian Carpet. Now, if you want to grow something that you can also grow as a cut flower, a great option is Echinacea or purple coneflower. Certain varieties can bloom in the middle of winter as well as during the hottest part of the summer here in Florida. The flowers are loved by pollinators, and the seeds provide a valuable food source for birds. The blooms make a long-lasting cut flower and can also be steeped into a tea. Here towards the back, I have just planted some Teutonia or Mexican sunflowers. These grow up to 6 feet tall and produce beautiful bright orange blooms that attract hummingbirds and butterflies. For us here, they bloom from about the end of November and all through the winter. And this right here is purple top vervain. When this thing started blooming, all the hummingbirds were flocking to it. Now over here we have 2 pollinator favorites that also produce fruit. One is passion flower that produces passion fruit and is a host plant for the zebra longwing butterfly. And this over here is papaya. Did you know that papayas are dioecious, which means that they come in both a male and a female version? The females produce fruit, but the males are the ones that are irresistible to hummingbirds due to the nectar-filled flowers that bloom profusely throughout the year. Now, if there was ever a tree that surprised me in its ability to attract hummingbirds, it's this, the moringa tree. If I am ever looking for a glimpse of a hummingbird, 100% chance I'm going to catch one buzzing around the moringa blooms. Apparently, those little hummers are not just sugar addicts, they're also health nuts. September is one of the best times to start flower seeds here in Florida, and one of the pollinator-friendly plants that I'm looking forward to growing this winter is black-eyed Susans. Black-eyed Susans are heat and drought tolerant. They provide a food source to bees, butterflies, and birds, and overall they're just a very pretty self-seeding flower. As the heat of summer transitions into the milder temperatures of fall, this is the perfect time to start another one of my favorite cutting flowers, and that is the cosmos. Cosmos are fast to bloom, fast to grow. They can tolerate a little bit of heat and provide a lovely pop of color during the fall. And last but not least, we have the plumbago. Plumbagos? No, plumbago. Plumbago is native to South Africa. However, it does grow really well here in Florida, and the delicate sky blue blooms are a magnet for swallowtail butterflies. The plumbago is low maintenance and makes a beautiful border plant here in Florida. And if you're interested in growing some of these varieties, make sure to check the description down below where I'll be posting the links to the seed suppliers that I use. All right, guys, so that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching. Let me know which one of these you're planning to plant down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.